Today's Sunshine Note is titled, You Won't Believe This One. Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more. He said to them, Listen to this dream I had. We were binding sheaves of grain out in the field, when suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered around mine and bowed down to it. Genesis 37, 5-7. I've had some weird dreams in my life. When I was young, I had a reoccurring nightmare in which I would be playing in a yard with all my best friends. I remember the feeling of having more fun and experiencing more joy than I had ever known. All was bliss. And then I would look over and see a brick wall. On that brick wall was a metal bracket with a big red button in the middle of it. In my dream, everybody knew that if someone pushed the red button, some sort of catastrophe would come upon us and we would all die. So everyone stayed clear of the button, until a kid I did not recognize would go over, give an impish smile, and press the button. At that point, I would wake up screaming, and my mom would rush in and put me back to sleep. Weird dream. Joseph had a weird dream. He may not have had it repeatedly, but it was weird enough to stay with him in his waking hours. I don't know if Joseph was ignorant or just arrogant, but you'd think he would have known that if he told his family members about his dreams, it would upset them. I mean, what else could a dream like that mean? Either the one in today's text, or the dream of the sun, moon, and 11 stars bowing down to him. Couple his dream sharing with the fact that his brothers already thought he was a snot-nosed brat who daddy loved more than everybody else, and you'd have a recipe for disaster. I wish I could jump into the story and tell him, Joseph, keep the dream to yourself. Don't share it. You're acting like a spoiled brat. But he didn't follow my imaginary advice. He shared his dream and offended his brothers and his dad. What they did not know was that these revelations weren't rooted in Joseph's arrogance. They were all God's doing. He was showing his hand ahead of time so that later on the faith of Jacob's family would be increased by looking back to see that God had been guiding through the good and the bad. How can you look back and see God's working in your life? Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more. He said to them, Listen to this dream I had. We were binding sheaves of grain out in the field when suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered around mine and bowed down to it. Genesis 37 verses 5-7. May God bless you today.